Hello, and welcome to Create Callable Instances with Python's dunder call method. My name's Joseph, and you might say that being your instructor for this video course was my calling. If you've ever used functions in Python, and I'm pretty sure you have, you know that they need to be called with a pair of parentheses, and whatever you put in those parentheses gets passed to the function. You might even know this applies to other kinds of objects, like class constructors. But did you also know that you can create your own classes whose instances have the same calling behavior? Specifically, you can use dunder call to create classes with callable instances that can then be used like functions. Learning how to work with these callable instances in Python will open up a whole new world of options for designing classes and interfaces. And along the way, you'll deepen your knowledge about Python internals as well as object-oriented programming. But first, a quick note on terminology. Dunder. No, it's not slang for Australia. That's just how we refer to these special double underscore methods in Python. Dunder is a lot easier to say. So instead of foo wrapped in double underscores, you would say dunder foo. Okay, cool. Now, where was I? In this course, you'll learn the way Python handles callable objects, the role of special methods in Python's data model, how to create your own classes with callable instances, the differences between the dunder init and dunder call methods, as well as techniques for using callable instances to solve real-world problems. We do expect you're familiar with some intermediate Python concepts, like functions and methods, classes and instances, and the general principles of object-oriented programming in Python. So if you're feeling like a review of OOP, check out Object-Oriented Programming in Python. All right, next up, let's dive deep into the concept of callables in Python. Callables are objects that can be called with a pair of parentheses. Some callables accept arguments passed between the parentheses when calling. Others take no arguments. Some of the common callables you'll see in Python include functions, like the absolute function. When called, it takes in a number and returns its absolute value. Class constructors, like set. Set returns an object of the set class. As an optional argument, it takes an iterable to convert into a set. Without this argument, it returns an empty set. And importantly, you can call instance methods. Consider the clear method found on objects of the list class. Calling clear returns nothing. In fact, its purpose is to modify a list object in place, removing all of its items. So as you can see, callables can be super varied, but they all have one thing in common. They use dunder call. Dunder call is the special method that controls callable behavior in Python. And one more note on terminology. Special method is another term for dunder methods, and they're also called magic methods. So called because they let you create classes that seamlessly integrate with Python's syntax and built-in language features, like magic. Look at this example class. This is the bare minimum to make callable instances. Class example, def dunder call with the parameter self, pass. First, note that dunder call is a method defined inside the example class, and just like any other instance method, follows the convention of taking self as its first argument. This means that instances of example will be callable. Of course, in this case, nothing would happen because it has no implementation, only the pass statement. But that's enough to not raise an error because calling instances of classes without dunder call results in a type error. Go ahead and pop open the REPL so you can work through a more interactive example. Firstly, how can you see if something is callable? One way would be to look directly at it and see if it has a dunder call using the built-in dir function. Use dir to examine the built-in abs function. Dir abs. And yeah, the first item is dunder call, among a bunch of other special methods and attributes. This will work with user-defined functions as well. Create a function called greet, and all it needs to do is print hello world. Def greet, print hello world. And for readability's sake, you can check for dunder call using dir with the in operator. Dunder call in dir greet returns true, as expected for a function. Of course, you could also just call it greet hello world. And while you generally don't call special methods directly, you can try it with dunder call. Greet.dunderCall also prints hello world. It's the same effect. You can even think of it this way. When you call an object, Python looks for and invokes dunder call for you, passing along any arguments. So how about user-defined classes? Define a super simple example class. No contents, just a pass statement. Class example, pass. Looking for dunder call is a bit different with classes. The class constructor will be callable, but you won't find dunder call when you pass the class into dir. Dunder call in dir example returns false. Why? Well, first, consider that everything in Python is an object, classes included. If you check the type of example, you'll see it's actually an object of the type class. I know, it's a bit trippy. The upshot is that by default, user-defined classes become objects of type. So when you call them, the dunder call from type is invoked. So if you pass type into dir and see if it contains dunder call, that returns true. And while dir is useful for a lot of things and helps to demystify Python's behavior, if you just want to see if an object is callable, there's actually a built-in Python function for that. Want to guess what it's called? Yep, callable. It takes an object as argument and returns true if it's callable, false otherwise. So callable abs returns true. Callable greet returns true. Callable example returns true. And even callable returns true. And with an instance of the example class, example instance equals the result of calling example. Callable example instance returns false, something that you can easily confirm by calling it. Example instance raises a type error. Example object is not callable. All right, now you've got a solid foundation of how Python handles callables. Next lesson, you'll build upon that foundation by writing concrete examples that use callable instances in practice. Before jumping back into examples, let's quickly review what dunder call does in your classes. It turns class instances into callable objects, meaning you can use them like functions, and works just like a regular instance method. So it's important to remember that it also receives self as its first argument, followed by accepting any extra arguments you define. Open up your code editor of choice to explore some examples. Name the first file counter.py. And for starters, you'll create a counter class where each instance keeps a count. The only functionality it'll have is the ability to increment that count in two ways. Class counter, def dunder init with the parameter self, set the instance attribute self.count to 0. Next, define the increment method. It also has the parameter self and increases the value of self.count by 1 when called. Self.count plus equals 1. And now dunder call. Def dunder call self, call self.increment. Don't forget it has a self parameter just like any other instance method. But despite being a special method, the content of dunder call has no special requirements or limitations. Save the file, and I'll open the integrated terminal for this, make it a bit larger, and open the REPL. Since this REPL was opened from the same directory as counter.py, you can import a class from it like so. From counter, import counter. And create a counter. Counter equals the result of calling counter. To see that it works, you can call counter's increment method, counter.increment, and check the count. Counter.count is 1. Seems to be working so far. Now try calling counter a couple times. Counter, counter. Now check counter.count. 3. Hey, it works. So this small example illustrates how useful callable instances are for creating elegant interfaces. For this purpose, you can treat the counter itself as the action count one more instead of calling a method. Callable instances are great for straightforward classes like this, where instances have a very clear and specific action. For another example, create the file power.py. Another use of callable instances is to create function factories. a class that produces instances that can be thought of as configurable functions. You'll write a class called PowerFactory, whose instances act as powers of functions, raising numbers to a given power. Class PowerFactory, def init, self exponent equals 2, set self.exponent to exponent. The initializer here configures the instance by setting the exponent attribute with a default value of 2. Def dunder call with the parameters self and base. And all dunder call has to do is apply the built-in exponentiation operator with the base passed to it and the instance's exponent attribute. So return base self.exponent. If this is a little confusing, don't worry, it'll be clear when you see it in action. Save the file, clear the REPL. From power, import PowerFactory, and create the first function from this factory, square of. Square of equals the result of calling PowerFactory, passing in the integer 2. Because you pass 2, 2 will be the exponent applied whenever you call square of. So try calling it with the integer 3. Square of 3 returns 9, which is 3 times 3. Square of 6 returns 36, 6 squared. And since PowerFactory is a factory, you can keep using it to produce these power functions. Say cube of equals PowerFactory passing in 3. So when you call cube of 3, you get cube of 3, 27. 3 times 3 times 3. And cube of 6 returns 216, which, well, my calculator tells me that this is 6 cubed. I'm sure your mind is already swimming with the potential uses of this pattern, and you're eager for more. Well, hold on. Next up, we take a slight detour to discuss a little more about special methods in Python, specifically how dunder call differs from dunder init.